So I have a lot of opportunity to answer the question, what is ISG Provider Lens and how does it fit within the overall ISG ecosystem? And it's really interesting as I answer that because people are surprised. We are the analyst firm within an advisory firm. So we compete with traditional analyst firms like Gartner, Forrester, IDC, and we write research about the service provider, the markets, the trends, all of those things. The difference between us and any of those other analyst firms is that I have a whole army of advisors behind me and they know what's going on in the market. I also have a whole army full of analysts who are really smart and they're subject matter experts. They know what they're writing about. And that's very similar to any other analyst firm. What's different about us is rather than just relying on what that analyst knows, they go to those advisors who are in that topic and they ask them not only what are the trends, but what are they seeing every day? What are they hearing from clients every day? What are the challenges? What is it that clients are buying? What do they want to outsource? Nobody else has that ability like ISG does, and that's what differentiates us. There was a keynote speech given at AWS reInvent a couple of years ago, and the person presenting showed an ISG Provider Lens quadrant, and they said to the audience of about 50, 60,000 people, the reason why I'm showing this is because we believe it represents what the man on the street thinks about AWS. And I think that's right, because our advisors are with the man on the street. They're talking to them every day, and they influence exactly how we position each of our providers in our studies. So I feel like it's really a differentiated and a more what's happening today kind of view versus, and I'm not going to say anything bad about our competitors because they do a great job, but they're concentrating more on where they think the market's going, and that's great. We need someone to do that, but we also need reality of where is the market today, and that's what ISG Provider Lens is able to tell the market. I think the biggest misconception that people have is that we are an advisory firm and that's all we know how to do. So all we do is source, and we run transactions, we run RFPs, we're also consultants and we help with operating plans and strategies and all those things, but that we don't actually have an opinion about what's going on in the market or who are the best providers. And I was an advisor for the first 2 years that I came to ISG. It was really hard to know everything about the market all the time because you're busy working with your client and you're concentrating on the things that are most relevant for that engagement. And then hopefully you have time to catch up on your area of expertise before you go on to the next assignment. But I didn't find I ever had that time. The advantage that we have with ISG Provider Lens coupled with ISG Advisory and Consulting is that we're able to do that legwork for all of the advisors. We use them in every study that we write. They're part of our project team. They advise, they give their recommendations on which providers to include, how they should be positioned, why one is better than the other. But at the same time, they learn what is going on. One of my favorite comments that I got from one of our partners based out of Europe, he said, not only did I get confirmation that those who I thought were leaders, but I also learned about some that I wasn't quite sure about and was happy to find out which ones were leaders and which ones were behind. But the best part was I learned about people I didn't know about. And I was able to go in to my clients and tell them about someone that I didn't know about before we wrote that report. And to me, that's the greatest testament about ISG and ISG Provider Lens is that we actually drink our own champagne. We don't just write these reports and then put them on a shelf or collect revenues and think, oh, okay, now it's done, let's go on to the next one. We actually use those reports every day. We use them to advise our clients and to strengthen the knowledge of our advisors.